Good morning, everybody. So I am coming to my followers, and I am going to ask a huge favor. I have been sick, as you all know, since I contracted dengue fever back in April. I am being told that I need to fly home emergently because I have to go in, because I'm septic, I have to go in for surgery. But before I go do that, I want to go ahead and take my finals and then leave. So I will include screenshots of the two options that I have. Because of physical medical issues, I am not able to fly economy or regular economy, because the seats do not offer enough leg room for my legs. And if I am compacted too long, I lose my ability to walk, because it affects my back, it affects my knees, and I hate being stuck to the point where I can't walk. I like to be able to ambulate on my own as much as possible. So I, at minimum, usually will fly main plus, because it gives the extra leg room and I can sit comfortably enough to where I'm not in agony by the time I arrive back to the US. So I'm begging with humility. I'm not asking for cash or money directly, because that's just not who I am. But I can always add a GoFundMe if need be. If anyone wants to donate, they can. I'm asking for American Airlines points to be transferred to me if possible, so that I can get two flights. A flight for me and my child to be able to go home to the U.S. I have to make arrangements for a family member to come, for a family member to pick her up, and then I have to go directly to the hospital, which I still haven't figured out how I'm going to get there yet, because that's going to cost me money, and I'm not sure. Right now, I'm not going to be refunded from school enough money to cover my normally around this time of year, I get a school refund, and that refund is what I would usually use to purchase my flight home, and it would cover also my transportation expenses and whatnot. Well, that amount of money is not coming to me this semester, this time. Instead, it looks like I will only be getting refunded about $498, and that is not going to cover a flight home for me and my child. It is only going to cover some of my expenses here on the island, because I was looking at getting enough in return, and that would cover my expenses here on the island, as well as a round trip ticket, technically two round trip tickets, because I have to always buy one ahead. But it would allow for me to get one round trip ticket from St. Vincent and the Grenadines to Miami, and then back Miami to St. Vincent, and then I always have to buy a second one to provide because of my daughter, and that's for St. Vincent back to Florida, so that so they can see that, yeah, she'll be returning. They kind of get a little tricky with immigration. I don't have to show that because my passport is stamped for me to be able to remain here, but her passport only gets stamped once we exit and come back. So that's the reason we have to get the extra ticket. So I put the price. I'm gonna put two costs, because we usually fly main plus or first class, depending on how I'm feeling medically. If I'm having a very rough time, then I usually will have them upgrade me to. That's why I don't have any points, guys. Whenever I was feeling ill or we were traveling, I use points to buy a trip, and then I use points to upgrade a few of our trips to first class to allow for me to be in a more comfortable seating. To be honest, I'm not trying to be bougie. It's just a simple fact. I don't fly for, I try to fly for comfort and what's going to be as comfortable as possible to where I won't be in pain, because I'm constantly in pain. And with me being sick and being sensitive, I also don't like to be on top of people. So usually, yes, I'm usually masked up, and usually because first is usually just 2 seats, versus 3 rows and having another person. Usually it's just me and my daughter, and we'll sit in seats, side by side, and we fly and tune out. So I'm gonna put up the two prices of those. I think it's plus as well as first for me to go, and then for her and I to go. And then I'm going to go and look at prices for us to go back in April as well. Like I said, I'm not asking for financial donations, just mileage donations so that we're able to travel back and forth, like on a case by case basis, and then I keep some points in stock, as we say. So as much points as I can earn, or that you guys could share, I greatly appreciate it. You have 2 options. You can transfer points to me if you have a lot of points, or you can gift points. And I will be, at the end of this video, I will be inserting the screenshot of the information that would be needed in order to do the transfer. It'll be inserted in this video, as well as the various costs of the tickets. So because I'm leaving in such a short span, and it's around the holidays, the tickets are going to be a lot pricier. But the ones I think that are coming up in April are going to be cheaper if I get them sooner versus later. And I would like to be able to get those by using points if I can. I just don't have enough in my thing. I only have like 25,000 points right now, so I don't have enough points to even get home. So for both of us. So if you guys could help, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm asking respectfully. I'm humbly asking, because I don't like to go this route. And then if anyone wants to donate, feel more comfortable donating money to use it as whatever reasoning to kind of help with offset some of the costs that I'm going to be running into for transportation, because I'm going to have to probably rent a car for us to get back and forth. I can submit that information as well. I just have to go check. I had a GoFundMe a long time ago, and I never used it. So I'm going to go see if that GoFundMe is still available. And if it is, then I'll also include that information. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope I'm able to garner. It's all in God's hands. So I'm hoping I'll be able to garner the assistance from you all collectively to be able to get myself home, because I'm trying to raise either the cost to cover the remaining expenses that I have here, so I don't have to come out of pocket, and that way I can purchase my tickets myself when I get paid. Because that's another issue that I've been having, is that we've been behind here. I'm a very positive person, and I'm a very giving person, but I sometimes do too much. So I'm going to just ask for the assistance. That's all I got to say. Thank you guys. And again, I'm always trying to be positive. You guys know that. So, and right now, even us trying to earn money through other avenues, like I need to finish trying to figure out how to format the books for that me and Hattie co-wrote, so that we can get those out there, and so that those can be published. I'll be studying for exams while I'm in hospital for the next 2.5 weeks that I'm supposed to be home. So we're just gonna do the best that we can. I just don't, guys, I don't know what else to do. So I'm gonna trust in God, and I'm gonna trust in, you know, the folks that have been supporting us and that are following us. And I'm gonna try to do while I'm in hospital. They're gonna they have to remove my port, pump me full of additional antibiotics until I'm no longer septic. I'm on antibiotics here because I had to beg my doctor to allow me to stay longer because they wanted me home now. But clearly I can't afford that right now. And I still have things that I have to accomplish with school. So that means I have to, if I don't want to have to repeat and pay extra money because I can't afford it, I can't afford to be paying for another semester as an MD2. I just don't have that kind of cash. And I'm paying out of pocket for the bulk of my education. So that's why funds are very limited, because I don't have extra. I have enough money to cover my expenses here as well as my tuition. And I have very little else. So yeah. So I always end up running into an issue because of that. So yeah, I have a very tight budget. It doesn't afford me any grace. And I have been trying to sell or get sales on my planner that's already on Amazon.com. I don't think I've had any sales on that. I've also am trying to get the book that Hadassah and I wrote published on Amazon so that it can be published. I have some prospective buyers for that, but again, due to some editing issues, like the book is amazing, but they want me to fix some boundary things or border things, and I haven't figured out how to do that quite yet to get it to their standard. And so that's been the hiccup and hold up. So that's what I've been trying to do. So yeah, so it's just a lot going on, guys. And when you're trying to I'm trying to live my dream, as they say. I'm trying to accomplish great things that I've never been able to accomplish before. And that is, I'm trying to be the first physician in my family. I'm trying to be the best that I can be. So that's, oh, the power's off in here. That is weird. So our European, I'm distracted, guys. That's my child. That's what that is. Never mind. I was about to say these things aren't working and I don't know what's going on, but I think I just figured it out. Put that there. That one needs to be off. And then this goes back here. If it wasn't on a minute ago, I wasn't understanding. It's because my child just powered it off. She's silly. And this is it's an ice machine. My daughter tends to cut all the powers and stuff off. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm tangent brain. But yeah, so that's our issue. At the end of the day, I'm trying to do the best that I can. I'm the first person in my family to ever become or even attempt to become a doctor. And I'm talking about an MD. We have PhDs down the line. We have master levels down the line, but I'm attending medical school and I'm still finishing up my master's degree at the same time. And those costs are not offset. It is what it is. Things are just not where they need to be. So again, I will present or place a GoFundMe for if anyone wants to help out there. Anything helps. that will actually help me cover the additional tuition so that it can make it to where I can actually use money to buy groceries and stuff like that. And it'll also allow, me to cover any additional expenses that I don't have the funding for at this time. Because I've been paying for my bills here, my bills in the U.S., as well as my bills at the school. And like I said, I don't have the money. With me being sick so often, I've been coming out of pocket significantly for medical supplies here that I have not been reimbursed for yet. Because I haven't, honestly, excuse me, I have the hiccups. I haven't figured out how yet to file the reports, and I haven't had time, honestly. I'll be doing that. I have all the receipts and stuff gathered now, so I'll try to give that over to someone that I know, my roomie. She knows how to do all that stuff. I'm gonna ask her to maybe submit the information for me while I focus on just preparing for my exams, and hopefully I'll be getting refunded some of the funds that I've put into equipment on and other medical supplies that I've had in the past, so that I can get those going, and get reimbursed for those, because that would put some money back in my pocket as well. Because that was the other hiccup I ran into, is that when I went home like I think it was like March, April. No, where did I get dengue? January, February, March, April, May. No, I didn't get dengue until June. I keep thinking April, but I was home in April, and I caught dengue in July. So like the end of June. So I'm so confused by dates sometimes, but I ended up having to go home in April, and I had to purchase a lot of equipment, but because of time, I didn't have time to go through the insurance, because the insurance company was being a masterful pain in the butt. They would give me vendors to get my pump and stuff through, and then those vendors, once you reached out to them, would say, oh yeah, we don't do those pumps, but if you need an insulin pump, we got that. And I was like, no, I don't need an insulin pump. And so that's been just issue after issue, and then I had to buy all the other stuff that went with it. So that was thousands of dollars out of my pocket, and in essence, I'm not gonna lie, I emptied out what little savings or buffer that I had. I think I only had like $6,000 as a buffer. That was completely spent when I was home in April, because I had to pay for all the expenses that I had for flying home. Last minute I had to pay for tickets. Then I had to pay for all, because I was sent home. I literally got kicked off the island. They told me to go home. So I had to go home because my autoimmune had gone into, what they felt happened was all of my autoimmunes were triggering at the same time. So my rheumatic fever, Hashimoto's, and GBS had all triggered at the same time. So because of that, I was a hot mess. So they dosed me with prednisone and then told me to go home. And so I was on a flight the next day going home. And when I got home, and that was also because I wasn't getting my IVIG treatment. So, of course, everything was going to go nuts. When I went home, we got everything worked out with to get me on what I need to get on. And then I had to come back and finish up school. And then, with my immune system being what my immune system is, I caught dengue a few months later. And ended up having to take a leave of absence for that semester, and then returned this semester only to run into the side effects post-dengue, which is my body is not producing white cells to fight any infection. My body is not producing enough platelets, and my body's not producing enough red blood cells. So because of that, I'm just some type of anemic in every way. Is anemic, be it blood or white count or whatever. I just don't have enough in my body. So right now I'm on antibiotics to kind of help battle that. And my IVIG is being given to help give me some type of immunity, but it's just not as good as it could be. So I have to go home, get my body back to where it needs to be. As you guys can see, I look rough because my face is looking aged, in my opinion. My skin and stuff is not the greatest, and that's because at the end of the day, my body has been going through one extreme after another, after another, after another. And I'm more susceptible now to any infection. And we have a couple of things that's going through now that I really don't want to catch because I can't afford it. I just want to be able to go home and get myself reset, and then call it a day. And that's the thing here. They don't have IVIG here. I'm the only person on this whole damn island that even has Guillain-Barré. They had one other person, but that person is, I guess, not here on island anymore. So I am the only person on this island with active Guillain-Barré. So there's no treatment here. The hospitals could do nothing for me here. I was told, they have a new prime minister, so I'm praying that with the new prime minister coming in, that things are going to start going on the up and up. But as underneath the old regime, from my understanding, I've always been told, do not go to the hospital unless you plan to die. Period. So I've never been to the hospital here because I was told they do not have the care or the equipment to even care for me there. So I have what I need to care for myself here. But even those supplies are starting to run extremely low. And I don't have the funds right now to buy the additional supplies I need. So I need to go home. And that's why I'm also asking for you guys' help. Because again, the insurance is not covering some of the supplies that I do need. And I have to get those supplies I got the initial supplies in April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That stuff lasts me 8 months. So I'd say every 6 months I need to get supplies in order to not run out. And so, yeah, and that's with me using more supplies due to me being as ill as I've been. Those supplies I felt was going to last me at least a little bit longer than what they did. I was hoping for a year. But they did not because I had to use more supplies because of me being sick, because I didn't calculate that into what I was doing. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'll need you guys' help for just everything that I'm doing. So I'll put everything into my social media, and then I'll link this video. I'm going to promote this video just to get as much help as I can. So help me with miles if you can. If you want to donate funds to help with all the other expenses that I'm going to have, to help offset some of the costs that I have, I would greatly appreciate that as well. And I appreciate any help that I can get so that I'm able to do what I need to do. I'm hoping to not have to repeat this semester. Once my grades come out, right now I'm passing everything with a C. I'm hoping to do well on all my tests, my finals. If I do well on my tests and my next few quizzes, I'm hoping to pass all of my NBMEs, if God willing, with at least a B, as long as I'm studying well, and get no lower than a C on all of my quizzes, if that's possible. If I can do that, guys, then I'll be able to go to the next semester. But if I can't, then that means I have to repeat, and I don't have the cash to be able to repeat. So I would be asking for help for that as well. So I'll put all of those financial costs into the GoFundMe for that, as well as the additional costs for the medical supplies that I'm desperately going to be needing. And then I'll submit that all on my social media. And then I'll submit how you can donate miles to help me with getting flights home. So that I can go home after finals, so that I can go home to go directly to the hospital, because I'm going to be a direct admits. As soon as I get home off the plane, I'll be driving to Weston and be admitted to Cleveland Clinic. I'll be directly admitted to Cleveland Clinic. I was told I'll be there up to 2 weeks, maybe 2.5, or longer, depending how long it takes for them to get the infection out of my body, to knock it out. I'm on antibiotics currently, but I don't know. They just got to get everything out of my system. And once they get everything out of my blood and they start to see that everything is recovering, white blood count and all that stuff like that, and I'm no longer anemic or whatever, I'll be able to get whatever treatment that I need to get there. And then I'll hopefully be able to return on the 4th of January to come back here. If they tell me I don't have to remediate, I don't have to return on the 4th. I can return. They're going to allow me to stay home for a week longer, for that first week of January. But if I have to remediate, I have to come back on the 4th of January in order to be here on the 5th to take whatever test I may need to take in order to pass. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much what we got, guys. Thank you for listening to me ramble and to me just being spastic. My meds have not, though I've taken the antibiotics and my Strattera already, that medicine has not kicked in yet. And yeah, so we're going to do what we can do, guys. Help me, help keep us going here. I greatly would appreciate it. Thank you. Bye for now.